reaching back out to again because I'm trying to be more consistent and do a live piece every week. So I want to say happy Tuesday to you. I know there is like so much going on in the US right now. It's a bit overwhelming. I want to make sure I can see when people come on. It's a bit overwhelming, and I'm trying to figure out what we're going to do now. What do we do next? Hey, Jamie. Hey, Carmen. Hey, Kier for Kira's. Launch with Mika. I'm looking on two different screens. Um, so, okay. Today, so when I say what are we going to do now, because there's a lot going on, and as a 92 percenter, I feel like I have a voice, right? Because I'm a 92 percenter. I'm in the 92% that voted for Kamala. And as a 92 percenter that has now skipped town, left America, living somewhere else, because y'all, it's a little ruthless in America right now. I don't even know if I'm coming back this year. It's scary. Um, as I'm looking from the inside, from the outside in, one thing that I am concerned about is our money. That's where I'm going to start first. What are you doing in your financial wheelhouse? And, I want you to think back. And if, most of us may not have been born during this time, it was a very long time ago. However, this was our grandparents, great grandparents, but it is very much something we need to think about. Back during the Great Depression, all of the banks went bankrupt. Everything that you had in the bank was lost, gone. That was it. That is why people started, and don't quote me because I'm not a history buff, so I'm giving you an overview. But that is why people started putting their under their bed, their mattresses, these things. That's why older people will still do that. Well, after the Great Depression, they created, during or after, they created the FDIC. The FDIC is the federally insured commission, something of that nature. Anyway, more importantly, the FDIC makes sure that your money is insured up to a certain amount. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's 100,000 for most banks. Well, as we can see, as everything starts to break down in the US and what was is no longer, things like our IRS information may be exposed. A lot of people aren't looking at the fact that not only is your IRS information exposed, but the IRS is saying that your banking information is exposed as well. So, me being me, I'm like, so does that mean the FDIC is next? Because how protected are these protected things at this point? So I'm like, y'all, I need to do something with my money. I don't care if you got $1,000 in the bank. You worked hard for those $1,000, and you want to keep your $1,000. So I'm like, what are we gonna do with our money? We have 401ks, we have 403bs, we have rollover IRAs, we have all of these different things. And I'm not a financial person. So let me let you know that I am nowhere near a financial person. So what I did was I talked to a financial person. Hell, anytime you don't know something, you find a person that does know it, right? You're just not over here looking stupid. You're gonna find out. So, if you're with Fidelity or what are all the big names, whatever they may be, most of them will do a free appointment for you to go over your financials. For me, actually, don't laugh at my wine. It is 9:30 p.m. where I am. So, so for me, what I always do is I always meet with my financial advisor once a year. I probably should do more. I probably should meet at least quarterly, but I always meet once a year to look at what's going on in my 403, 401 rollover, whatever you may have. And a lot of people don't realize that you can do that. And we just kind of let that money gather and let it do what it do. Um, And so if you've never met with your financial person, y'all, they getting paid, right? So they getting paid regardless of whether you meet with them or not. So I would encourage you to make an appointment and meet with your financial person. One, I encourage you to do that just because you need to know something about your money. I mean, I'm not totally clueless about my money. I have some idea of what's going on. I don't know everything, but I'm gonna at least pretend like I know. I need to know something about my money. So on a regular basis, I encourage you to find out who is managing your retirement accounts, right? And meet with that individual, but I'm stressing that you take time to meet with that individual right now so you know what to do. Now, for those of us that may have IRAs, like I said, I'm not a financial person, so don't quote me. I believe you max out at 7,000 a year. You can still max out for 2024 up until April, and then you can max out another 7,000 for 2025. Now, those rates are going to fluctuate when we look at your retirement accounts. They're going to change, they're going to go up and down. When I talked to my retirement person today, she talked about when the market dipped during COVID, that was unexpected. They went down, then they came back up. I'm no financial guru, but if the writing is on the wall, the writing is just there, right? So I'm like, maybe we should plan for a dip or a crash. I don't know. But regardless, you need to know what's going on with your money, and you need to make sure that if you don't know how to manage it, you have someone that does know how to manage it. If you have money in the bank, you can leave it in the bank, or maybe you need to put it in an investment. One thing about real estate is it always bounces back. People always need a place to live. One thing about land is it always appreciates. Now if you're retiring, like our parents that may be retiring within the next 5 years, they may not want to be as aggressive with their money right now, right? Because they need to make sure that it's not in as many stocks, so it just kind of stay and float along. Now if you feel like the stock market is going up, then you go and hit it hard. But if you are unsure or you feel like it may drop, you may want to talk to somebody, or maybe have somebody that's monitoring it regularly. For us that, first, as minorities, we don't tend to invest as much. And for those that do invest, we don't do anything with it. That would be me. I just, that money go in there and my job would match it and it would just do what it do. Now that I am self-employed, I kind of need to know what it's doing when it's doing it, right? So I want you to, that's the first thing I want to do is challenge you to get, find out what's going on with your money, right? So you have some idea. And maybe this is the year that you check on it monthly or every other month. So maybe start watching that Dow Jones and those stock market things. If it's going down, make it check with the financial counselor. Hey, what y'all doing over there? So that's the first thing I want to tell you. The second thing is, yeah, it's great to have 3 to 6 months of savings, but the way people getting fired left and right, I would say you may want to have 6 to 12 months of savings. I don't know. I'm always overcautious with my savings, but you may want to make sure you have a little bit extra put away, because people, child, it's just like that when they used to say this, honey, people getting fired that ain't never got fired from these jobs before. These people have been at these jobs for 20, 30, 40 years, and they are getting fired, terminated, like letter for tomorrow. And it's not just the government agencies. It's not just the government agencies that are firing with this DIA and all of this. People are just getting fired. Like, I ain't even do nothing wrong. I've been a model and stand-up employee, and now you just let me go. And it's like, okay, what just happened here? Like, I've done everything I was supposed to do, and all of a sudden now I have no job. They just laid off the park rangers. Why do they need to lay off the park rangers? I'm pretty sure the park rangers were there for a reason. Don't people get attacked by bears? Like, I know these park rangers have been in place with these parks for a reason. I don't know the exact reason. FAA, the flight aviation, those people that's making sure our planes take off and come back down. Pretty sure they have a very good job, a very reasonable job. I kind of need to land and be alive when I land. Did y'all hear? There was another crash. Yes. Coming from the States to Canada, another crash. This is outrageous. Maybe there's always crashes and we just never know. I don't know. That could be a thing because, the media tries to play off our emotions, or it's just a whole bunch of plane crashes right now when we dealing with the United States. I don't know. I don't know. But firing the people that are in charge of making sure the plane crashes aren't happening when there's more plane crashes. I know, I'm not in charge of anything, right? But I kind of feel like we may need those people. I don't know. So I would say get your money together. Make sure you have savings. You should always have savings, though. You should always have 3 to 6 months of savings. But right now, honey, I would say a minimum of 6 months of savings because we really don't know. Well, we don't know. We've never experienced this before. People say you can compare it to the Holocaust, you can compare it to the Great Depression. I don't know. I'm not that person, but what I'm saying is get yourself in order. The next thing I'm saying is the stress from watching the news and the media and all of this stuff popping up on your social media is outrageous. Some will say it's fear mongering and this stuff isn't. I don't even know if they can say that anymore. But some people do say it's fear mongering. Some people say that, it's just so much going on so quickly every day. It's a stroke of the pen. Whatever it is, we still have to prioritize ourselves and we need to prioritize our stress level. We need to keep that low. We need to prioritize our peace. I know I'm getting a lot of clients for coaching that want to talk about getting their affairs in order, talk about opening businesses, another stream of income, that just need to talk about just what to do next. So I am seeing a lot more clients in that regard, which I completely understand. So if that's something you want to talk about, we can. But I also want you to focus on your mental, your emotional, and your physical stress. All of this stress that we're undergoing right now, worrying about what could, would, should, or may happen, plays a role on our body as well, right? It may be causing migraines. It may be causing palpitations. That's when your heart starts beating fast for some reason. It may be causing panic or anxiety attacks. That's when you may, you just kind of had this feeling of doom, like everything's closing in on you. You may start breathing faster, where you feel like you're hyperventilating, like that type of thing. So you may be having these feelings and you can't necessarily identify where they're coming from or why. And this media overload and the negativity and the different changes and all of these things that's coming into our brain at one time, it may be overloading the system. So the other thing we need to do is we need to make sure we keep ourselves grounded and we are very mindful about what we take in and the information that we're taking in, because these things can cause actual physical manifestation on our body. It can cause your heart rate to be faster. It can cause an increase in your blood pressure. It can cause headaches and migraines. There's actually studies that show that it actually can decrease your immune system and make you more susceptible got tongue tied. To getting illnesses. I know right now the flu is going around and all the sickness is going around. And y'all, it's not just in the States, it's here too. People are getting sick left and right. There's so much going around right now during this season. This is not the season for us to be getting sick. So, whether you need to do a little vitamin C, some echinacea, anything to boost your immune system, definitely, as long as it's not counteractive with something else that you're taking, you're not allergic or anything, stop at the store and get something to help boost that immunity. Natural is always better. Our citric fruits help to boost our immunity. They tend to have a lot of vitamin C. So focus on that as well. For those that have children, now you have to explain to your children what's going on. They may be experiencing some racism, some sexism, some homophobia. Um, it's a lot of isms out here right now. We are dealing with a lot. We have the immigrants that's being snatched out of their homes. And, whether we want to admit it or not, they are a very integral part of our society. So when they're not working, it affects everything. It affects everything else. All of these things are just a cycle. It's a lot going on. It's a lot being affected. And we have to figure out how to keep ourselves as grounded as we possibly can, not just for us, but for our family, for our older family members, for our children. We have to do what we need to do to make sure that they are safe and they feel cared for and they feel at peace. And the only way we can do that is to make sure that we feel safe, that we feel like we're able to care for ourselves and we feel at peace. So, for that reason, I decided to do a webinar on Sunday. That webinar is Peace Over Noise. Um, let's see, dealing with, oh Lord, y'all, I just do so much. The webinar is Rising Above the Noise, Finding Peace in a World Divided. It's free. And during that time, I'm going to talk about things that we can do during this political climate and with everything going on to make sure we're keeping ourselves together, whether it's mentally, emotionally, and physically. So it lasts about an hour, but the first 30 minutes, we're going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about real life things that you can do and go over some of the symptoms that you may see that you may not realize is based off of your stress level or based off of the anxiety or the depression or the sadness or just feeling overwhelmed. So I want you to be able to identify what those things are and then things that you can do to help yourself. And then after that, things, if you need to go a level above, what we can do to make sure that you're okay. If you're like, okay, Charisma, I'm past this level of things I can do myself, I need some help. But also, what I like to do is I want to take the last 30 minutes to turn on the cameras, turn on the microphone, and really sit down and speak and have a discussion amongst one another, and really talk about how we're feeling, how, our emotions. What we're dealing with, and come up with, look at some real life situations and find out what will best help us to survive during this time. There is a time where we are just thriving and we are doing great and we are just making moves and it's so much going on, right? Right now, we're kind of going into survival mode. And as bad as survival mode may sound, you as a human are built for survival mode. It's just that you're built for a different type of survival mode. You're built for the survival mode where the lion is chasing you and you need to get away. But right now, we're dealing with the survival of just being in our own confines, in our own world. So this is a different type of survival. So it's important that we come together as a community and we talk about this. We open up. We open up this area. So what I do is the first 30 minutes is recorded, but then after we go through this information, last 30 minutes, I cut off the recorder, we turn on the cameras, and we actually talk. And I think it's important that you experience both sides of it, because now we can talk about some of these examples that I gave you and really discuss how we can implement them into our real life, how we can put this into our daily life, because shit is getting real. It is hitting the fan, and whether you are ready or not, it's happening. So, the link is in the bio or in the description. You can register for it. That is definitely free of charge, because right now this is something that we need. If by any chance it's on February 23rd on Sunday at 12:30 Eastern. If by any chance that time doesn't work for you, it will be recorded. So you will receive the recording to go over that. And if you feel like, okay, Charisma, I need to talk to somebody, you can book that breakthrough call and we can sit down and talk and come up with a plan. But what I want to do during this hour that we have together is equip you with the tools that you need, what you're going to need to deal with the racism, the sexism, the let's call it homophobiaism. I'm not sure if that's correct or not. But any of these isms that we're currently dealing with, you address them kind of the same way when it comes to protecting yourself, protecting your space, and protecting your mental health. And it's very important. A lot of us for those that were alive in the 60s, many of you were children. So although you saw racism in your parents, you may not have experienced it the same way that your parents did. So we need to know how to deal with this. And I love that as a community, everyone is coming together, doing, the boycotts, this, that, and the other. People are really doing their part. They're doing marches and they're calling, not just writing, but calling their senators and their House of Representatives. I love watching Crockett in Tennessee. I love watching her, and not Tennessee, in Texas. How she goes to bat for us and she educates us. What's her first name? Is it Jasmine? Am I saying that right? Do y'all know? I love watching her, but because she is going to bat with us, and she is one of those people. I'm like, God, protect her at all costs. Pray for her, because they are not happy with that she is exposing them. Is that her name? Do y'all know? I'm looking at the other camera. I want to say it's Jasmine Crockett, but I feel like that's not her first name. Anyway, make sure you're taking in positive messages. A lot of what we hear becomes what we think and what we know. That's why media is so powerful, whether it's TV, radio, internet. It's so powerful because it gets into our mind and it becomes our reality, whether it's reality or not. That's why people are easily brainwashed. Because as you play it and play it and play it, if it's something that they can resonate with, if there's something there that they can grab hold to, right? They can grab hold to that, and then it resonates in their mind and it becomes their truth and their reality. So what we want to do is be able to identify when something negative is coming to us, even though there may be a little part we agree with, right? If something negative is coming to us, we need to be able to stop. We need to be able to pause, and we need to be able to shut that off and not take that in as our own. So these are things that are important for us as we move forward, because there's going to be some negativity that comes in. It's going to be some negative talk. It's going to be, some behaviors from people that you didn't expect those behaviors from. Everybody has a voice now on social media. Everybody has something to say. So it's really important that we protect ourselves. So, as we discuss, one, take care of your financial wheelhouse. Two, make sure you have your money ready. Make sure you have 6 months put up just in case. Have that safety net. Another one, and three, protect your mental, physical, and emotional health. So, the first one, make sure you meet with your financial advisor. The second one, make sure you're saving. I know we go on, everybody want to go to this Beyonce concert, but some of y'all don't have Beyonce money right now. If you do not have at least 3 months saved for your next 3 months of rent, and you not, or mortgage, and you not close to 6 months, you may not want to give that $1,000 to Beyonce. I'm just saying. I mean, no, between the tickets, the outfit, the shoes, you may not want to do that. I personally thought that Beyonce was wrong for having a concert right now. I understand you at the height of your career, but this is hurting your people, in my humble opinion. But whatever, do what y'all do. Uh, so I don't know, but I love Beyonce. Don't get me wrong. I go to all the concerts, but right now people are just hurting and they don't have the money, and it's going to get worse. And it's very important that we do what we need to do for us and our homes and our families, and we prioritize us. We need to prioritize us first. Now, if you got the money, you like, girl, I got 3 to 6 months. I got 6 to 9 months. I'm good. I got my own business. I got my money coming in. I got multiple streams of income. I'm doing me. Girl, go, or whomever, go to that concert. Make sure you got your cowboy boots and you have a ball. You hear me? You go do and make it do what it do. But if child, if you lost your job tomorrow, on the first, you cannot pay your rent or your mortgage. Don't make it do what it do. Don't. You may need to consider staying home. You may need to. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but that's something you may want to consider. Those are the things we're doing. We meeting with our financial counselor. We are doing our emergency savings fund, and we are registering for this free webinar on Sunday to get some jewels and take some time out to basically have a free counseling session in a sense. So the link is in the bio or the description. So I want you to make sure you go ahead and click on that, get registered, and I will see you on Sunday. I'm sending love and peace to everyone, and just wishing everyone the best. I know that we are more than capable, and we are strong, and we'll overcome all of this. But there is so much power in numbers coming together to help one another. It's so much more powerful than trying to do it on our own. So, that's why I'm going to take this time out and we're going to come together. So, I wish you all the best. Beehive, don't be mad at me. I love Beyonce. I'm just saying. And well, for me, good night. It's 10 o'clock. For you, have a wonderful rest of your day. You got a couple of more hours before 5 p.m. You are almost done and out of there for the day. So I wish you all well. All right, y'all. Ciao.